Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of FsPassengers. Name you heard 37. Just shut that thing down. I just started this a second ago, and occasionally with some of these aircraft, I don't know why, but it started up and it would not stop, and we ended up way over in those buildings and everything. I was just like, screw this, gotta restart it. It's always in the Carenado. Somehow we end up, like, the brakes wouldn't stop it, the parking brake wouldn't stop it. And finally, when we got close to the building, you could hear the thing spool down. I don't know what the heck was going on. It does that every once in a while. In this episode, we're going to go here from Myrtle Beach to Daytona Beach. It's KMYR from Myrtle Beach, and Daytona Beach is KDAB. Let's see if I can do this again. 4 peaks, which is as much as we could take. The flight is a little under 300 miles, so I'm going to... We went over 400 at 50%, so I'm going to put this at just 45. Go. Get all of our people in there. The sound, you can hear all this talking in the flight. I don't know why they think that needed to be so long. We've almost got all this done and still the sound effects.
Destination set.
KDAB. Yeah, the sound effects never even stopped.
Check handset.
A little annoying. Alright. Especially because I'm a little annoyed because I just started this thing a second ago. Alright, give her another go here. The parking brake is obviously on. Can't start it unless you have the parking brake on. Or FsPassengers, I mean. Put that all the way up. Alright, I have not looked at the book again. Because I got so much other stuff. So I don't totally know how to start it. We'll just keep doing it the way we've been doing it. We'll put this on the battery. Generally, I'm going to put on standby first. Turn on our nav light. And this pulse system. I don't know exactly, even if you hold that over, it just says switch pulse SYS. Alright, the ignition, make sure that's on auto. Fuel system, put that on. Fuel selector, we'll put that over. And put it on one of the tanks to get her started. Starter. Some fuel, low idle. And hope we don't go flying. I'm on the brakes. There, she's pulled down. I don't know. Sometimes I think it won't do that if you put the fuel all the way up after as soon as she starts. I don't know. I hate that. God, ridiculous. All right, so that's an auto avionics. Come on. I'm going to put that in main. Start it on. Maybe the avionics should be in start as we start it and then put it on. I'm not totally sure. Need to look at the PDF or whatever. Right, the parking brake is obviously on. Bleed air. I can't remember which one that is. By the way, we'll put on some air conditioning. Put that in auto. Bleed air. Alright, it goes to auto. Auxiliary boost pump is on. Pitot heat. Oh, we gotta hit the starter. Turn that starter off. Alright, pitot heat is down at the bottom. It says the boost pump is still on. It's got 3 positions. Odd, off, and on. I don't quite understand. Wait, let me look at one other thing. Switch fuels. I have to. That's one reason you gotta look at the PDF. Alright. Come down here. By the way, let's go ahead and hit up ATC, and we're going to be going mainly to the south.
Myrtle Beach, ground,
southwest.
3903 with Oscar. Request taxi for takeoff.
Alright, pitot heat.
Departure. Oscar Yankee
Turn that on for
393,
the.
taxi to and hold short
I'm
of
not,
runway
still not sure if
18,
that's window heat or
taxiway
window
Bravo, Bravo
physics or
5,
de-icer.
contact tower on 128.45, ready.
Alright, acknowledge the taxi
Taxi
clearance.
to and hold short runway 18 via taxiway Bravo, Bravo 5, Oscar Yankee 393.
So I'm just going to move my heading over to 180. Alright, 180, let's go, we'll fly at 16,500 feet. Alright, there's 16.5. Turn on progressive taxi. Alright, parking brake is coming off. Get her going here. Go ahead and set the flaps, 1 notch of flaps. So 180, runway 18, I should say, is off to our right. I think there's only the one big runway. I think it's just right in front of us. I'm not sure how far we need to go down here. End of it. Come over, I guess, right to there. We don't need the full runway, but this thing doesn't get off the ground as quick as I sometimes think, maybe. So I'll use a little more runway, even though there's like a taxiway right there off to our right. We'll come down here. By the way, I totally screwed up by not putting on the taxi light. We'll probably get dinged, I'm sure. Taxiing around without our taxi light on. Oh, jeez. This episode is not starting off the way I wanted it to start. Hopefully it's a lot better. I'm trying to look at the distance. It says that distance from here, 292 nautical miles. So we should be fine on the fuel and everything. Take this taxiway to the right of here. Alright, there it is. I was gonna say this is a taxiway, right? I don't see any lines or anything. Here we go. Turning around. I'm on the brakes. Tower. We'll wait till that pops up. Taxiing way too fast. Gotta slow her down. I don't like taxiing this plane right now. It's very weird to get it going and then keep it going. If you get off the fuel just a little bit, it seems she really wants to just stop. Alright, request our takeoff
Myrtle
clearance.
Beach Tower, Oscar Yankee 393, ready for south departure at runway 18. Oscar Yankee 393, cleared
It's
for
approved.
takeoff, runway 18, departure to the south approved.
Right, acknowledge
Clear
that.
for takeoff, runway 18, Oscar Yankee
Strobe light comes
393.
on, landing lights are on. Make sure we got everything. That's in main, battery. Alright. See, like, I've given it plenty of thrust right here, but man, she just doesn't want to move. But then once she gets moving, she doesn't want to stop. Alright. Get on the runway. Maybe I'm more in my element when I'm actually flying instead of taxiing. Alright, here we go. Speed's getting alive. Give it a more thrust, so I'm off it a little too much. Like I said, you don't want to do full thrust with FsPassengers. You'll take your engine out. Go ahead and rotate, dump it out of here. How's the rate? Gears coming up. Alright. Flaps are retracted. She does actually get up pretty quick. Alright, now we'll put the nose up. We got a ton of airspeed now. We'll head out to the right here. Head on along down the coast. Man, you can put her at 1,800 feet and look, she's still, airspeed will still climb. It's wild. Absolutely wild. Autopilot. Switch this. Wrong button. There we go. Switch that to nav. We're set for 16.5. Go to vertical speed. That's about 1,800. Look out here. Go along the coast. Good view of Myrtle Beach. I'm not sure if main Myrtle Beach is over more to the north or to the south. I think it's to the north. Huge destination for the people on the East Coast. Like I say, I actually prefer Hilton Head. Bring back these yokes. And up to 16.5. Let's see. Taxi light, because I still need to figure out that pressurization system. By the way, just an hour and a half from right here as fast as we're going. Yeah, it's just annoying to get it going. I don't know the startup well enough, and the taxiing is just horrible. That plane. Like I say, she takes a ton of thrust to get going, and then she doesn't want to stop. So I taxi worse than this plane than most. Get used to her. What tank are we on? See, we're on the left. Didn't I start it off on the right? But I noticed that the left, earlier when we were taxiing, the left had come down a little bit more. I'm almost positive I thought we put it onto the right tank. I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't quite understand that. Because sometimes she doesn't even switch herself. I have to switch it manually. But other times I've seen it switch itself. Very odd. We're at 5,300 feet. I'm going to go ahead and speed her up. There isn't too much out there. I mean, now you're in like the freaking wilderness. It'd be too far away from Hilton Head. Actually. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and speed it up, and we will be back in just a little bit.
Myrtle Beach Tower 3320. Myrtle Beach 3320. Cleared to land. Runway 1 gate 3320. Turn next taxiway. 3320. turn 33. Point 120.3, 3320.
Alright, everybody, gonna slow it down here. About 33 miles out, but we're not gonna use the tower. I was thinking I didn't show the chart for Daytona Beach. I'll try and put it up if I can remember. Put it up at the very first thing. We're not gonna use ATC. Sorry about not showing it. Actually, we'll go right over here. Procedures. Let me go on 7 left, so we actually have to come around here. Which button is it? Get that outside one. There we go. Select the approach. Daytona Beach. Come down here. We're taking 7 left. ILS is 7 left, right there. Vectors, barbs. I think we wanted actually OM in. It's actually the one we want. Not sure why I hit enter. Okay, load. OM in, Tomahawk. See, I've got Walmall, Tigay, Folic, and Zopri. Alright, so there's the turn. So I've got Walmall. There's Tigay, Folic, and Zopri. So it's a little bit different than what I've got. Alright. Activate that. There we come around. And I've got it set to 1,900 feet because that's why I wanted to be at Walmall. We're at 6,000 right now. I'm going to go ahead and put our prop 100%. And it hasn't been switching itself, so I've just been switching it. Now see, that's going to take us out here, isn't it? And do a turn and come back, isn't it? Give it some more power. I don't have Tomahawk on my list. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. Yeah, we got to kind of... Oh, man. In fact, because let's go 4X. I don't know if we should adjust this pressure or not. I got it to go off by putting it up there. You can hear on the plane I've got the AC and the fan on. I'm not sure if that helps or not. It didn't turn it on last time, and I never could get that pressure thing to turn off. I turned it on the first flight in this flight and got it off to come off both times. I don't know. Daytona Beach. Beautiful. There's the airport. Just now see it. Well, now you can't. There's the post. I'll let it come out to here and then it will slow her down. But to get to that point, to keep it sped up. Yeah, there she goes. 1,900 feet, but I guess we could have been higher since we're going to come up all the way over here. Yeah, Tigay, you want to be at 1,600 feet when we come back around. It doesn't have Folic. It doesn't have Zopri on there either. ahead and switch this over to the right tank. By the way, we should 100% full rich there. Try and see if we can't make a better approach this time, because we haven't landed. That last landing was pitiful. I couldn't get on the glide slope if I remember correctly. Alright, but for the ILS and 7 left, we need to put this in, let's see, 109.7. If I remember correctly, we couldn't even get this to work. 109.7. 109.7. DAB. So hopefully we'll be able to get it to work this time. It was very awkward that we couldn't last time. In fact, the heading is going to be 070. I was going to say I could switch this to heading, but we're going to turn in a second. We're turning now. I'd go ahead and set up the course. But you guys put it over into the nav to do that. So just go over here, 070. Alright, there we go. Good old Daytona Beach. We had the TriStar here a lot at the end of that series with the TriStar. Noise. Perhaps I should turn it off now. Turn off the AC. She's gonna get uncomfortable in here. Set my altimeter, there we go. We want to go down to 1,600 feet here. Like I said, 1,600 at Tigay. If that is in fact how you pronounce it. Look at that. I guess that's some kind of weird, they tried to do the shadows. Movement, because you can see that one move, but that's just odd. It's like, I don't know. And the elevation of the runway 30 feet. At Tigay we should be at the right altitude, because that is on my list as well. Look at where our power is set. We're still doing 167 knots. That's kind of wild. We're leveling out. I mean, it's coming down a little bit, but still, we don't even have much thrust in here. Still going quite fast. Switch it to heading as soon as we get turned around. Seems like it's got us awfully low. You see, it's kind of jagged, by the way. We're extremely dense. And 22, 21. Right, let's follow that heading. Go ahead and hit CDI over here. Set this to 070 as well. Turn them both to 070. This is nav 2. Alright, this nav 1. Switch this back over to nav. As you can see, the glide slope is way above us. It's one what I was thinking. 1,600 feet, man. That's awfully low all the way out here. Which tank are we on? We're on the right one, alright. Yeah, 1,600 feet just seems way too low to be all the way out here. Kind of odd. Especially since the glide slope is so high. Yeah, look, 163 knots, and look what our power is. We don't have much power in here at all. Quite see the airport. It's gotta be over here. See, it's not really lining us up. I don't understand that. We're going at 072 now, 073, even though we've got it set to 070. See that the runway is off to the right a little bit. That's it over here. Start decreasing our power more to get our speed down. Now she's coming back. It's on the flash there. Alright, now she's on it a little bit better. Still, the glide slope is way above us. To even use the glide slope on the ILS is almost pointless. Just a little more thrust. Put out notch of flaps as well. Alright, so to Tomahawk, I'm trying to look at this. TIG to Tomahawk is still, it says 2 miles to Tomahawk, but then you've got, I mean, that's the runway right there. How could that be 2 miles to Tomahawk and then still long distance to the freaking runway? Glide slope's coming down. By the way, next flight I need to adjust my view. I'm going to have myself up the seat a little bit more. Here's coming down. The approach hold. No, we're not quite on the glide slope just yet. Flaps are out. There's the bloating effect. Getting off the power so she doesn't go too high. See, now we're too high. Okay, so we are at full flaps. Speed's coming down. We're coming back on the glide slope. Better here. See, it says we're actually 4 miles away from the freaking runway. It seems like we're so much closer. So I was getting worried there we weren't going to be set up, and actually we were set up really early. Make sure we're on that right tank. We are. I'm going to reset my view here. Raise myself up just a little bit. Alright, to the 85 knots. Slow down just a tad. I passengers are all happy, 100%. I didn't tell them to take their seatbelts off. Increase the thrust just a little bit so that the speed doesn't keep dropping anymore. Drop slower. Now we're getting kind of low here. Let's see. That's right, there's no happy lights here. I almost forgot about that. I think we just got a little too slow. That's why we're dropping so much. I believe this is kind of what happened at Myrtle Beach. Now we're coming back on the glide slope. Alright, autopilot is off. Plane is mine. Yeah, I wish we did have happy lights. I'm surprised 8 or 7 right has happy lights, but over here we got nothing. Slightly high. It's kind of weird being able to see the nose like that. Not used to that, that's for sure. Trying to bring down the speed just a little bit. We're a little low. Oh, that's the, you hit a tree right there, an invisible tree. I forgot about that. That was, like, what are we blacking out? Is the pilot blacking out? What, have I done something wrong? Yeah, seeing the nose is very odd. We are way off to the left, by the way. Because I can't tell if I'm pitched up or not, because it's so awkward seeing that nose. I actually prefer sitting down like this. I cannot get over to the right. Maybe I won't move my seat up, because that's a very awkward feel right there. Man, I cannot go to the right, bitch. God, Jiminy Christmas. Tracking the flaps. Turn right over here, although parking's probably going to be over to the right since I did that. Alright, off the runway now. Stop it right here. Strobe comes off, landing lights come off. Stop that. Let's turn over to the ground so they can tell us where to go. The parking.
Daytona ground, Oscar Yankee 3903, request taxi to parking. Oscar Yankee 3903, taxi to general aviation parking. Via taxiway, November 4 Papa Echo, Romeo Alpha Mike Papa.
Acknowledge that. Turn on progressive taxi.
Via taxiway, November 4 Papa.
Yeah, what'd I say? What did I say? It will be over there. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah. From now on, maybe when I say, okay, I'm going to turn left, and then I should just say, no, since that's my first guess, I'm going to go right instead. That always happens. So should I turn my strobes and landing lights on? I don't know if we're going down the runway or is it just a little bit? What are we doing here? Well, I'm not going to follow that line. I'm just going to go straight across. This is rather ignorant. Shouldn't get dinged for not having the landing lights on everything. I'm just kind of worried FsPassengers will screw that up. Simply crossing the runway. I should have stopped and looked. on down here. I guess we'll just taxi kind of like this. I gotta put in a little bit of thrust. A little too slow, it feels like. I guess we gotta go way on down here. What does that say? That building? Something Jet Aviation. Paddington? Yeddington? Something like that. So I would have been fine parking over at that area over there. I don't know why we have to come all the way down here. Does it cut over to the left? Am I seeing that right? Yeah, I think it does cut to the left, back across the runway. Oh, maybe it goes to the right. I can't tell. Put a little off the thrust a little. We're only at 28 knots, isn't it? It's a camera reference 20 or 30. You're supposed to like max. It is 20. Man, why is all the flashing textures? Did I say ATP Jet Center? Because I think ATP does have a flight center. I don't know why I came outside. I could have just stayed inside and looked. That was kind of dumb. Now I think about it. Oh, see, I got off it a little too quick. Now she slowed down on me a lot. Yeah, that view sitting up when landing, it really kind of throws off your, or for me at least, it throws off your whole perception of it all. That's pretty cool if those are all ATP planes. I see their advertisements a lot on YouTube. It turned way too quick, didn't it? That, I think it's an ATP, one of the bigger flight schools. This is one of their locations. That's pretty cool, I gotta say. Although it all looks like little Cessnas. Little person. And I do believe they have all kinds of aircraft, don't they? Because they do. I think they do all the way up jet engines and everything. I can't see. Set the parking brake. Take your seatbelts off. Well, I should have made them keep them on just for another second. Taxi light can come off. Turn off the avionics. That off. Put the fuel. Cut the fuel off there. Bleed air. Turn this off as well. Open up my door. We can turn our nav off. Pulse. This needs to be off. Okay, I think everything is off. That's pretty cool if they put the ATP planes in. They didn't. They could have done more with the models. Those windows look horrid. Everything else looks okay, but just the glass areas on those things just look horrible. still has like a hum, almost like something's still on. There it goes. Close the door back up. What am I going here with you? In flight. It seems like I almost have forgotten so much about FsPassengers. I've only flown it 2 or 3 times in the past month or so. Had so many of them already recorded. Alright, so flight distance was 290 nautical miles, time airborne 125.09, flight time 138.55, time on the ground was 15 minutes 48 seconds, average speed was 204.7 knots, climb time 9 minutes 28 seconds, cruise time 43 minutes 51 seconds, average cruise speed 271.8 knots, set time 31:50, landing speed 66.95, came down to 112.3 feet a minute a kiss. Landing pitch 5.4 degrees. Landing weight was 5,842 pounds. We used 438 pounds of fuel, 76 on the climb, 254 on the cruise, using about 348 per hour on that cruise, and 107 on the descent. Wow. Hold on. Oh, that looks horrible. Can't be right. 689 for the tickets, 0 on the cargo. When I did it the second time, I didn't put in the cargo, did I? Oh my god. Idiot. See, that's what is frustrating at the very beginning. If you all could tell, by the time I took off, I was extremely frustrated. We used $255 worth of fuel, 10 for the airport taxes, 29 on the insurance. We made $395 times 50 was $19,750. Fleet bonus $39,128. Bring in only $58,878 because I forgot the cargo. They thought we should be 100%, so we increased 0.27% up to 97.25. It was a perfect flight, 230 pilot bonus points, 50 for a smooth landing, 150 for the perfect flight, and 30 because we landed at the right airport, and lost 50 because of our beacon. I can't believe I didn't load up cargo. I know I did the first time, but the second time I must not done it. Like I said, I was aggravated, man. I was annoyed. I didn't even show the chart. Like I said, I'll try if I can remember when I edit this. I'll put the chart at the very, very beginning. If you all want to see that. All right. Well, we're down here in Daytona. I think we'll go to Miami next. I'm not sure. See, I've got Miami. Was it Miami City X from Juzwicki Design? I don't know how to say it. And then I've got KMYR from, I think, is it Tropical Sim, perhaps? Running both of them together is extremely hard. You get a lot of texture popping, which is annoying to me. So I'll probably just use the airport, not the Miami City X. Maybe we'll do one each time. On the landing, we'll use just the airport, and on the takeoff when we leave, maybe I'll do, instead of the airport, just use the default airport, and then use just the wiki design. I don't know how to say the name. Because it is great scenery for the away from there. It's spectacular, really. Alright, but that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. I hope you all did enjoy it. I will catch you guys on the next flight.